Welcome to my workshop. You are watching Casual DIY channel. In today's video, I'm going to be making a jig to help us transferring some markings from one side of the board to the edge and to the other side with no hassle, quick and easy. So let's have a go at it. Okay, so you may be having an issue trying to transfer a mark from one face to the edge and to the other side, making sure it's all in the correct place. Okay, so you can use your square, first of all. Your line on the edge of your board could be slightly out, and then you're magnifying that problem on the other face, and then your markings are not accurate at all. So today we're going to be making a jig that hopefully will solve this problem. Now the design of this jig is not my own. I've actually seen it somewhere on Pinterest, so I'm going to try to replicate that jig from the photo and we'll see if it actually works. For my project, I'm going to be using 10mm plywood. However, if you've got thicker plywood or MDF, anything like that, that will work as well. First of all, from this piece of plywood, I'm going to sort out two rectangles. It will be 8cm by 10cm. You need to make sure you've got nice and straight stock. On top of that, I'm going to cut out two more pieces that are 2cm wide and 8cm long. In both of these pieces, we need to cut out some notches to allow for these pieces to go in. Okay, so I'm just going to mark it up. I'm going to cut it out. I want these to be cut out in both of the pieces. So I'm going to actually tape both of them together. So I'm going to have identical cuts. Just using a bit of masking tape to hold them together. Now to make this cut, I'm using my bandsaw. However, if you don't have one, you can just use a normal handsaw to make this cut. These pieces need to be attached to one of these rectangles, okay? Just like so. The side of this piece needs to be flush with this side. Now I left them still attached, taped together just for greater stability, but we need to attach that piece just to one of them. And to do that, I'm actually going to use a bit of CA glue with an activator to give me that initial hold. And after that, I'm going to reinforce this with some screws. Remember to add the glue just to one of these pieces. And now I can reinforce this with some screws. Okay, with both of the pieces still taped together, I'm going to pre-drill a hole in that top part just over here for the bolt to go through. Okay, so we've got two pieces like that, and what they need to do is to slide like this, and you're going to have a straight edge to follow, just like so, on all sides of your board with your pencil. So how do you connect both of the pieces together? Well, you need some sort of a bolt, a longish one. That's what I've got. It doesn't have to be identical to this one. It doesn't really matter. And I got some spring on it as well. I managed to get it on one of my pens. So that's how I managed to obtain a spring for this project. And basically what you do, you just thread it like so. And you need to attach the second piece to the bolt in some shape or form. Thanks to the spring, you can actually clamp this device, clamp this jig straight away on your workpiece, okay? Now, I did miscalculate. This is 10mm plywood and it's definitely not thick enough, okay? So if you're going to be making the same project, minimum is 18mm. Now, that bolt needs to go through there and actually stay there, okay, so it doesn't move. You still want to have the ability to screw it in and screw it out. That way you can amend this jig to whatever thickness of material you've got. Now, I was hoping to use a hex drive head nut, just like this, or a furniture fixing like this one. Now the problem is, because this is so thin and this is only 10 millimeters high, none of these will fit. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use a normal nut like this, and I'm going to use a bit of CA glue, and I'm going to glue on that nut onto that back piece. It's not the greatest solution, but hopefully it will work and it will be good enough for what I need it to do. And that seems to be working just fine. Okay, let's check this out. Quite nice, interesting. It's actually holding quite steadily. You can still move it along. However, as I'm looking at it, there's a bit of a flex in these two runners. So what I'm thinking, I'm going to attach another piece just on here, on top, just to make it a little bit more sturdy. Right, so let's test out the jig. Let's say that's the line I wanted to transfer. Let's whack the jig on. Align it with the mark. Let's see what we got. Right, this is the result. I hope you're going to be able to see this correctly. Let me just get the right angles on. But it's a perfect transition on all three planes. Absolutely perfect. No hassle, easy to use, easy to do. Now I have to say, quite solid results for a simple jig like this. Another thing I would definitely change in this is actually the length of the main body here. I think 5 centimeters will be plenty for most applications. You don't really need it to be that long, so 5 centimeters by 8 centimeters is definitely the way forward here. However, you know, I've tested it out and it really works. I was quite chuffed with that. Now, this little jig will be as accurate you'll be able to make it. So spend a bit more time in measuring and cutting everything so everything's nice and perfect. So then you can actually have perfect results when using this jig and transferring your markings across your board. Now, if you did enjoy this little video, drop me that like button down below and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't done so yet. Now, I do have a lot more videos when it comes to jigs, woodworking projects and everything like that. So I've got some really cool playlists just for you. Hopefully, I'll see you on one of those videos there. Take care.